of 6A, question number 13. So I've got this particular function. The tangent to the graph of y equals f of x, and this is f of x, at x equals a, makes an angle of 70 degrees. So if I was to look at f of x, the asymptotes will be at pi on 4 and negative pi on 4. And the curve will look like this. And I'm wanting to know what is the value of a, where the tangent makes an angle of 70 degrees with the positive x direction of the x-axis. So there's probably a couple of values of a. That's going to be 70 degrees and that's going to be 70 degrees. Okay, so if that's the case then I've got my curve. My curve, if that's 70 degrees, then the gradient of that line will equal the tan of the angle. So the gradient will be the tan of 70 degrees, which is the tan of 70 times pi on 180. Turning it into radians, because all of our rules are about angles that are in radians, not in degrees. So that's 7 on 18. So that's the tan of 7 pi on 18. And I know that on this curve, the derivative at that point will be f dash of a, and that will equal the gradient. So I've got to take the derivative of this. F dash of x will equal sec squared of 2x times 2. And f dash at a will be sec squared of 2a times 2. And that 2 sec squared of 2a will equal the tan of 7 pi on 18, because this is the gradient by using the derivative, and this is the gradient by using the fact that m will equal the tan of the angle. So now it's a game of getting a by itself. So sec squared of 2a will equal a half tan of 7 pi on 18. Sec of 2a will equal the square root of a half the tan of 7 pi on 18. Sec is 1 on cos, so cos of 2a will equal 1 on the square root of a half tan of 7 pi on 18. This is plus or minus. And 2a will equal the inverse cosine of 1 on plus or minus the square root of a half tan of 7 pi on 18, and a will equal a half the inverse cosine of negative or positive 1 on top of the square root of a half the tan 7 pi on 18. And if I wanted to rationalise the denominator, I'd get a half equals, so a equals a half the inverse cosine of plus or minus the square root of a half tan 7 pi on 18 over a half tan 7 pi on 18. And that's what a is going to equal. I could have this as being a half the inverse cosine of this 2 would be up here. Then if it went inside, the 2 would become 4. So I would have under the square root, I would have 4 on 2 tan of 7 pi on 18. So that would actually leave me with plus or minus the square root of 2 tan of 7 pi on 18 over the tan of 7 pi on 18. And if I'm looking for the cos being positive or negative,